to go and collect money from people at home. And it's a scary prospect having someone banging at your door. So if that's happening to you or someone you know, solicitor Ayesha Nayyar is here with some essential advice. Good morning.
Good morning.
OK, so let's get straight to it. If you haven't paid a bill and court proceedings have started, is there anything that we can do to stop the bailiffs from turning up?
Yes, well, the person or business that's claiming money will have applied to the court for a warrant to visit your property, and they have to give you notice of that. They have to give you 7 days notice in England and Wales and 4 days in Scotland. So there is time to act. There is help out there. So first of all, you can fill out the N245 form on the government website. That will either suspend or vary the payment, so you can apply for that. You can also get temporary protection through the government breathing space scheme, and we know Iona's talked about that. That will give you 60 days to sort out a debt plan, so just put the brakes on what's going on. You can actually apply to get the judgment itself set aside or cancelled, but again, you have to act fast on that. You can do that if you are adamant that you don't owe the original debt or the original papers haven't been served on you, and you can do that yourself or via a solicitor.
And is this Iona Bain, our finance expert, has talked about this breathing space scheme as well before, which is really helpful, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there is help out there, and that's what everyone's got to remember.
Yeah. So these are desperate times. It's happening. What should you do if bailiffs are at your door, and do you have to let them in?
Well, not always. First of all, your first port of call is checking who they actually are. If they are debt collectors, send them away. You only have to deal with bailiffs at your door, and it depends what rights they have, whether or not you let them in.
Two different things. A debt collector is very different to a bailiff.
Absolutely. Bailiffs are court-appointed debt collectors on. In Scotland, bailiffs are called sheriff officers. In Northern Ireland, they are the Enforcement of Judgments Office recovers money and goods and property on behalf of the court. But it's really important that you check who's knocking on your door before you take any action. So bailiffs, for example, there is a bailiffs register that you can check, or you can check directly with the court. Make sure your doors are locked. Remember, you've had notice that they're coming. You've had this 7 days or 4 days, and they can only enter through unlocked doors. So make sure everything is locked in the meantime. Check any documents that they've got signed, and they've got the power to enter if that's what you think they've got. They have to show you proof, and they can only enter it during certain times. So in England and Wales, it's 8 a.m, 6 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. at night, any day of the week. In Scotland, it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. If you're vulnerable, so if, for example, you're pregnant or you've got an illness, or you're under a certain age, or you can't speak English, they have to give you greater care. So if you are vulnerable, give them notice of that.
OK, so if you don't answer the door, you've locked them, can they force entry?
OK, there's a big misconception about this as well, but it depends on the type of debt they are chasing. Now, they do have the right to force entry if it's certain types of debt in England and Wales. So HMRC, tax unpaid, magistrate's fine, TV licence. But other than that, unless they've got a warrant to enter or a writ, do not let them in. Talk to them through the door or the window. In England and Wales, they're not allowed to break into your house either. They can only use reasonable force. So they'll go away and get a locksmith, and then if they've got the right to enter, they'll enter using a locksmith. In Scotland, unfortunately, the rules are different. If they've got the right authority, it's an offence to actually stop them entering, and they can force entry.
Council tax would be on that list as well, I'm sure, wouldn't it? What can they take? What are they allowed to take away?
Again, this is another misconception. It's really important that you know if bailiffs are knocking what they can and cannot take if you let them in. So first of all, they can't take any essential items like your clothes, fridge, your cooker. They can't take tools of the trade. They can't take anything that doesn't belong to you. So they can't take anything that belongs to your children, for example. But you do have to prove it. They can't take a vehicle that's got finance on it. They can't take a vehicle if it's got a disabled badge. They can take things from your garden, though. So again, bring it in if you know that they're about to visit. They can take luxury items, so things like your television or games console. But it's very, very important that people realise that if it's your debt, they can only take your things. So if, for example, they turn up for your son's debt, even if he lives with you, if they've got the right to enter, let them in, take them upstairs, show him his bedroom and say, there's his stuff, take that, but you can't take mine.
Brilliant. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Ayesha. Lots of detail there to take in, especially across the different countries with England, Scotland and Wales. So we're going to put all of that information up on our website, and details of help and support with hardship and debt are available at bbc.co.uk/action line, or call for free anytime to hear recorded information on 08000 159 774.